If you are using AI, I think you are way past that point where chat interface excites you in the output that it generates. How do we know that we are ready to move from chat to co-work? How do you know that you have a task at hand that is ready to be delegated to co-work? I have 5 questions which will tell you if your workflow is ready to be delegated or not. About filling in your ICP details, that has to be your starting point. You can't delegate that task to AI, and this judgment from human intelligence simply cannot be replaced. This is the context engineering layer that will determine the quality of output at the end of the workflow. I am very excited about this video because finally I'm able to structure my thoughts into figuring out what questions do I need to mentally model to understand if my workflows are ready to be delegated to AI. What do I mean by this? If you are using AI, I think you are way past that point where chat interface excites you in the output that it generates. Whoever is in the space of AI or AI GTM for that matter is more and more curious about understanding the workflows that can potentially be automated. How do we evaluate? How do we know that this delegation would make sense? How do we know that we are ready to move from chat to co-work in case we are using Claude? How do we know that we are ready to make the most out of a tool like Clay, which is probably one of the best tools available for GTM? These are the questions that has been going on in my mind for a while, and lately I have a concrete framework which most likely would make sense. Hi everyone, I am Jayesh. I am a GTM and growth practitioner. In the last videos, we have been talking about understanding the basics. I recently met a tech founder, and she is creating a US healthcare product. She has a few paid clients, I think one or two of them. Her product is still evolving, but even though her instincts tell her that probably it's not the right stage to start using tools like LinkedIn Sales Navigator, Apollo, or Instantly, she is still using it because there's a constant fear of missing out, or FOMO, as we say. So, whether you are in that stage or whether you have been using Cowork to an extent to manage your files, to create PowerPoints, to create weekly schedules, whatever it is. Let's say you have a proficiency in using Cowork. How do you know that you have a task at hand that is ready to be delegated to co-work? I have 5 questions which will tell you if your workflow is ready to be delegated or not. What we are trying to do is, I shared a template in the last video, if you go and watch it, about filling in your ICP details. That has to be your starting point. You can't delegate that task to AI. So once that form is filled, which I'll show you in a bit, the next step is, let's say our first task is prospecting, right? I'm keeping that task as something that I want to evaluate if it is ready to be delegated. The first question, is this task going to require input from multiple sources? The task at hand is prospecting. So yes, you need data from multiple different sources, scraped, right? Whether you're finding companies, whether you're finding people, you need multiple sources. That box is ticked. The second box, at the end of this workflow, will there be a deliverable file which can be further used in downstream activities? In this case, once the extraction and enrichment is done, the list has to move to a campaign management tool or a CRM. That means we need to have a valid output format of this file. Again, for the prospecting, the second box is also ticked. What is the third box? Are you going to run a scheduled task? By that I mean, is this going to be a repeatable workflow? Doesn't have to be, where you write prompt once and forget about it, but of course you would need to modify as and when the requirements change. But building a list of prospect is definitely a scheduled task. You need to keep on building it either every week or every 2 weeks or every month based on your bandwidth. That's the third one. The fourth one is, and this is very important, do you know what good looks like? AI models will give you the benchmarks of the industry reports, but what good looks like will be very specific to your company and then to your industry. And this judgment from human intelligence simply cannot be replaced, and you have to be very clear about it. This is the context engineering layer that will determine the quality of output at the end of the workflow. And the fifth one, is there a significant middle boring execution part? If yes, then this task, which is of prospecting, can be delegated to AI. Now, this is one example, right? Prospecting is just one use case which I took to evaluate if we are ready, or if this task is ready to be delegated to AI. Now, if you have at least three of the boxes being checked for your task, you can start experimenting. If not, do not spend time using AI. You would rather be wasting time. So before we start using Clay, I wanted to use this video to set a premise. And by premise, we mean giving you all the context that is needed before we jump into the tool. So going back to the ICP building template, for this exercise, I chose a company called Julius AI. It's an early stage AI company based in San Francisco. Let's have a look. So this is the homepage of Julius. They have apparently been able to bag big names like Princeton, BCG, Zapier, and they have been having more than 2 million users now. But if you look at the hero, analyze your data with AI built for insight, with AI built for insight, apparently they forgot to check this one. But anyways, this is a tool which is primarily a data analytics platform, and you can call it a combination of Excel, R, maybe some bits of Python, right? And you get data visualizations, well, for example, what you would get in tools like K9, Alteryx, maybe to an extent. But the goal is, this is an analytics platform, right? And I just wanted to show you that this is an early stage AI lab, and building products like this has been far more easier with AI. Now the problem is taking it to the market. So for this, let's go to the Excel sheet, right, which I was talking about. This is populated based on the information that I have currently, and this is what will be used in Clay, right? So what is the product or service? Let's evaluate that. So Julius AI is an AI data analysis tool. You can ask questions about your data in plain English and get insight and get instant charts and insights. What are the target industries? Marketing agencies, B2B SaaS, e-commerce, consulting firms, financial services. We'll take any one of these, right, in creating or in prospecting with Clay. What is the size of the company? This. What is the geography? It is North America. Stage seed to series B, right? And then we have tech signals. What do we mean by signals? That means the buyers of Julius AI are using heavy Excel or Google Sheets, and they're not using any BI tool because probably it doesn't make sense for them, and they're actively hiring for ops or marketing analyst roles, right? This is the signal that the company is looking to go after, right? Now our goal is to get into the shoes of the marketing personnel of Julius AI, right? If you were a marketing hire in Julius, this is where I would start if my task is to start with prospecting. Then we have the buyer persona, which is head of marketing, VP marketing, marketing manager, right? We have secondary titles, we have seniority, we have key pain, what they want, right? And then trigger signals, what to watch for in Clay, and then disqualifiers. This is very, very important. You need to tell the model what not to look for, right? We don't want to target too large companies or enterprises. We don't want to go after companies who are already tooled up. We don't want to go after the wrong vertical, because healthcare, legal, government, they have a lot of compliance and data privacy concerns. Then the companies that do not have a lot of growth signal, right? Because a lot of companies prefer to stay boutique with a flat headcount, no noise in the market. They have pretty long sales cycle, and they prefer to stay that way. Now, why is this important? I'll tell you, because Clay relies on two main frameworks. One is FET, which is find, enrich, transform, and export. When you're trying to find the companies or the people to reach out to, that's step number one. You need to remember, or you need to imbibe the jigsaw framework within yourself, because that's how these GTM tools work. What do we mean by the jigsaw framework? That means you start with the corner points. And in our case, which is profiling or prospecting, the corner points are about identifying the companies and the profiles within those companies, which we saw in the Excel sheet. And then you go after the edges. What do we mean by edges? They define the boundaries of your search. And in our case, it is the firmographic and the demographic data. The third one is where you start filling in the rest. Now, these two are the core frameworks of using Clay or any other GTM tool. By the time you're watching this video, probably the market is flooded. But the point is, the guiding frameworks don't change. In the next video, we'll take it from here, where we take the input of this Excel sheet and then start building or finding companies using Clay. I'm really excited about this journey. I hope you like it. If it makes sense, please do consider subscribing and liking or disliking. And I'll see you in the next one.